one of the things that I do is what I call snowball fight, which is one of the most popular and I think the first activity in the book. I print out a slip of paper with 140 boxes on it. And that's the number of characters there used to be in a tweet before Twitter doubled it. And so each person arrives to find this little slip of paper on their place. And they instantly are thinking, well, what's that all about? And they generally sort of push it to the side and get on with things. Oh, the advanced version of that actually is to give them all these little props and things you're going to do them inside an envelope. And the envelope says, do not open until advised. And even if they do open it, they won't find anything in it that means anything because it's all a bit cryptic until the instructions are given. But I love giving them this envelope. And even in a big room, you can put an envelope on every chair and they get it. And most people are obedient. They won't open it till they're told. And they're instantly curious, what's in the envelope? And they can't wait for the speaker to come on and tell them, can I open my envelope now? So that's the mindset you want. It's so exciting to watch their faces. I love it. Anyway, so they get their slip of paper and you ask them to write a tweet. Of course, it's not a real tweet, it's just paper and pen. And you choose what you give them as a task to write about. So if I'm training recruiters, I'll ask them to write an advert for their own job. If I'm training in-house marketing teams, I might ask them to complete the sentence copywriting is. And they have to write one character, a letter or a punctuation mark or a space per box, and they don't have to fill the whole 140, but they can't go over. Then what they do is they screw it up, and they're really not expecting this. So they take 2 or 3 minutes to think, and the funniest one is the journalist, because they always write a rough draft before they fill in the slip of paper. They're the only group that does that. But anyway, so they've all written it. You can see around the table when they've done it, and then you ask them to screw it up, and you see their brains go, oh, I've just worked really hard, and screwing up means it's rubbish. So they have this moment of confusion, which means you have to move on very quickly to the next bit, which really takes them by surprise, because you then say, now throw it around the room, and you demonstrate the same thing. So you're giving them permission to do it. And at this point, they're very bewildered. So they have this little snowball fight, throwing the pieces of paper. And very quickly, you then stop that and then gather the pieces of paper and deal them out so everyone gets one back. Then it starts making sense for them at this point, because then you open them out one by one, because they're all curious to see, oh, what have I got? What message have I got? And normally I will then read it out. That person then identifies themselves. Then you can ask them a little bit more about who they are and what they do. And you're informed by what they've written. For example, going back to recruiters, if they've written their own job ad, it gives you an instant clue about how good or bad their job ad copywriting is before the start of the day. If you're doing marketing teams and asking them to define copywriting at the beginning, you can then anonymously work out what is their level of understanding now with that simple game, and then instantly guide your introduction according to the definitions people have given. Or you can just pick them out one at a time through the day and say, oh, here's another definition, what do we think of that one? And use it to lead a discussion. You can use the snowball fight for a Q&A session, because people can write questions on bits of paper and throw them to you at the front of the room, and then you've got a load of anonymous questions to answer with no embarrassment about people putting their hand up. You can then make sure you don't get taken down a tangent by someone who's asked an irrelevant question in the real world, because you only read out the questions that you know are on topic. And you can use it as a revision exercise right at the end of the day to say, okay, write your best tip of the day, screw it up, throw it around the room, and then everyone gets a snowball to take away with a piece of advice. The one that wrote it will remember that tip because they've gone through the action of writing it, and the one that gathers the tip has got a gift from someone else in the room as another reminder of the key learning point. So it's just so adaptable. I love it.